alive again. We're alive again. We're alive again. On my Freewrite Alpha, doing some writing today. I got some custom keycaps. Spacebar could not customize, and I left some other stuff. It's like kind of got a customized keyboard, so it's like got some keycaps. These are the wirh or wirh. These I can't change. They were just it's not worth it. And also, I don't know, the typing experience is kind of feels like it's a lot improved with having some slightly indented, like on a it's like on a strategy RPG, you know, like when you're elevated slightly, you get like an attack bonus. Yeah. Everybody, just I know it's been a while. I've not been in streaming mode for quite a while. I've been going back to school, taking an acting class. I've not really been focused on making content recently. I will be setting up my PC again. You know, because right now everything's kind of yeah, right now everything's kind of a mess. I have my computer over there, but yeah, it's not. I'm trying to get stuff. I'm trying to focus more on writing. You know, like I almost didn't even like. I'm like, wait a minute, like I can just randomly do like a write with me. Like, why not? I haven't checked in with you guys in a while, so now some people have been wondering what's been going on. Nothing's really been going on. It's actually kind of why I haven't been streaming. It's because I'm trying to like focus more on life and like stream only when there's like stuff going on, and there's nothing going on. So, well, there's stuff going on, but not like stream related. It's like real life stuff, good stuff though. Back in school, meeting people, getting back into a routine, like riding my bike again, all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna be, I don't even know how I'm gonna set this up. Set it up like this? Oh, no, what can I do? I can do this, can't I? Maybe not. Scuffed. Oh, here we go. Totally. Alphabet type. Okay, here we go. Yeah, okay. I have to type really weird. Okay. How about somehow set it up over here? Oh. Okay. Now, button share, hands on keyboard chat. Okay, hit send. And I do the thing where I back up a lot. I have multiple backups, so sends it to my email. And, so obviously you're not really supposed to be editing, but I can if I want. And honestly, I'm meticulous enough, and I have a system, is I keep my draft pages shorter. And so I'll write like 1,000 words at most per draft page. And that way I could fully, if I really wanted to, if all I had was my Freewrite, my Freewrite alpha, if all I had was this, I'm meticulous enough. This and my phone, because let's face it, I could probably do the majority of editing on the Google Drive backup, and I would just copy and paste it to a new Google Drive document, because that's how I am. I don't leave anything to chance. If I'm writing, I like have multiple backups. I email myself multiple times, iterations. My inbox is insane. Okay, like I don't want anything lost. I've had it happen before. I've seen it happen to people. I've seen people, you can even use, like, if you use your typewriter, for example, like, even with, like, your typewriter, physical media has disadvantages too. Because with physical media, what happens if, like, all your stuff gets lost? What if it gets wet? What if there's a fire or a flood? If there's all sorts of ways that you could lose your writing. So you should always have backups. That's why every single time I write something physical, if it's not like a private journal or anything, if it's something that I'm actually going to be working on, like a novel or like an article or something, every time I write something physical, like by handwriting or by typewriter, I transcribe it into, and now I have the Freewrite as a part of my workflow, which is amazing. It's kicking ass. It's changing my entire workflow. Like, it's ironically, I don't use it as much as I use it a lot, which is good, but I actually end up doing a lot more handwriting and a lot more typewriter and a lot more typing on my phone. And like, I'm typing everywhere across the board now because of this thing. I got it on sale, so, I got a discount. It was still pretty expensive. It was like, I think I spent like $200. But I'm a writer, like a writer. So it's paying for itself already. Like, I'm writing significantly more, spending way less time on social media. Even when I do have my phone, but then I've like learned how to separate work from like social media scrolling. And so like when I'm working. And even when I feel more inclined to be able to, like, if I really needed to, I could write on my phone. Because, I have like a Bluetooth keyboard, and I have like also another like handheld keyboard that's like kind of weird, but like it's a little bit interesting. But the thing is like, if I really wanted to, I could go from draft to revision to publication all on my phone. Especially if I start with the Freewrite, because like if I start with the Freewrite, then I'll have my post box, and then it backs up on my Google Drive. So all I have to do is make a copy of the Google Drive backup, and I can do all my editing there. And I have a whole iterative process with that, because like every time I make like a day of writing, I make a new document. Even though a single document tracks changes. I don't trust that, because what if the document gets deleted? You can't track that. So I have to iterate into a new document, so that if a document gets corrupted, at most, I lose a day of writing, which is bad, but it's not as bad as losing a year of writing. It's really bad. Yeah, who is this person? I'm rebeccaloran. I'm a writer, a wannabe writer. I write a lot, though. Like, I'm just not really published. Well, I'm published, technically. But, like, let's be real, okay? Like, I write a lot of garbage. Okay. A lot of YouTube comments. A lot of Reddit posts. Not really. Actually, no, I don't really write on Reddit. I don't know why. Maybe I should write more on Reddit. I think I could be popular on Reddit. I think I need to write more on Reddit, don't I? Let me check chat really quick. Yeah, I'm on a scuffed setup right now. Just on my phone. And I don't even have Lyrics Premium. I'm using Lyrics to broadcast. It works. You know, it definitely works. But, yeah. Basically, trying to learn how to create a workflow. Like, I don't know, it's like, it's really elusive, because it's like you try to, we have so much technology, right? Like, technically we have more access to creative tools than anybody has had throughout all of history. But when you have everything, you basically have nothing. Because we're going to take the path of least resistance, which is going to just be scrolling through social media. It's the easiest thing to do, so that's what we do. We're humans. And so, like, you kind of have to arbitrarily make things more difficult for yourself. I've been finding that out more and more. Like, I'm setting up a laptop. As soon as I find either a USB drive or my USB Ethernet cable. I have like a USB Ethernet adapter for my laptop that I got specifically for my laptop. And I lost it. It fell or something. I need to clean my room. That's generally what's... Then I can set my PC up again, because then I can actually have like non-scuffed streams. Not like this. Not like this. Not like this. But... I'm setting up the laptop to be able to only focus on word processor. Like, literally, like, I want to boot up the laptop into a Linux operating system that is so slimmed down that all it is, I might not even use a GUI. I might get a terminal word processor and just boot up right into it. Like an old school word processor. Like, I mean, that's like all you really need. Like, I think like George R.R. Martin uses like MS-DOS word processor. What more do you need? You just need to put text onto a document. And even if it's an older document, you could always convert it to a newer document on a different computer. Right? Like, people are so addicted to technology. You don't need the newest shit. Like, look at the typewriter. Typewriter from the this is a 1948 Royal Quiet Deluxe. It's like refurbished, but it doesn't need to be innovated. You put text on a page. That's what it's for. Okay, you don't need, like, I mean, even this Freewrite. I have some issues with the Freewrite. I think they're fixing it with the latest patch changes, but I'm constantly, if I'm not connected to Wi-Fi, I am scared to death to write on this thing. But I think they're fixing that. I think they actually fixed it. There was a problem where you would, like, if you didn't back something up, it would literally delete an entire draft if you accidentally, like, changed to a new page or something. But I think they fixed that. I think they changed it so it saves before you do anything. Because I think what was happening was, I think they mentioned it in the patch notes or something, but they really, Astro House is really kind of, it's still, like, kind of, it's still improving, okay? Like, and I think the Freewrite Alpha itself is, like, newer. So, I don't know. I knew what I was getting into when I got it. But like I said, it's no different than, like, this is why you have iterative process rather than, like, you don't write, like, 10,000 words when you're not connected to, like, you don't write your whole novel when you're not connected to Wi-Fi. Like, you should be going through an iterative process of emailing yourself, like, every, like, I email myself, like, whatever, even if I only write, like, a few hundred words. Like, I am really diligent about it. Like, I do not want to lose anything. Sometimes losing stuff is good, though. So, I mean, sometimes you shouldn't, like, try to do that, but, like, I feel like if something does happen, you should, like, have a system in place so that it's, like, at most you lose, like, a day of work. Which is bad, but it's not as bad as losing, like, a month or a year of work. So, people on YouTube were talking about their Freewrite, and this is the Freewrite Smart, which is a different device, but they were having issues that were similar, which is, like, they would lose, like, entire, like, in, like, 10,000 words of writing. And I'm like, if your writing flow is set up that you're losing 10,000 words without a single backup, I feel like that's a you problem. 10,000 words is a lot to lose. The fact that you didn't do a single email, that you didn't do a single backup, like, that all you did was rely on Postbox. Like, you should be making backups to Google Drive. And even then, you should be making copies of those backups if it's really, like, stuff that you're worried about. But that, I just email it to myself. They even have, like I said, they have that, you can send it right to your email right here. Like, I have to make sure it doesn't dox my email. Yeah, I can't show it. It'll say email sent. Like, it says sending email. Like, it's just like, it says it right there. It's right there. It's right there. Like, all you have to do is just email it to yourself, and now it's on your email. And, like, hopefully, yeah, you could say, like, oh, what if you lose your email? Okay, well then, I don't know what to tell you. Use Dropbox. Use OneDrive. Like, it's never perfect. You might forget all your passwords, so you might get hacked. It might even be worse to back up on the cloud. Like, rather than backing up, like, what you could do is you could, as soon as you backed up everything on the cloud, anything that you really want to save, you then go to your typewriter, and then you physically type it up for archive. Like, you gotta be diligent. If it's that important that you don't lose your work, you gotta be diligent. You have to have it ingrained into your writing flow. It can't be something, you can't rely on technology. You can't rely on someone else. Like, even if it's like, okay, yeah, like if it's some, like, what if there was like some organization that was like a bank, but like you went to them and it's like Fort Knox. but for writing. Like, you just leave them like pages of writing from your typewriter or your printer. Like, you print something out. Yeah, you can always just, if you don't have you don't have to type it out manually. You could just print it out and archive it like in your file folder, like physically. The problem is like nothing you do, you can keep things in your brain, but your brain's going to forget things, obviously. But let's say we were able to somehow evolve as humans, and we could like connect ourselves to like a USB or like Bluetooth or whatever to back up our documents for our writing. What if we were able to do that? With our brains. Well, then what if our brains get damaged? Like, see, there's never going to be anything that's 100% foolproof. But still, you have to rely on what you have, and you can rely on multiple things. So you should not rely on your local device, especially if it's a device that is technically not really designed to store. People are misunderstanding what the Freewrite devices are for. They think that it's supposed to be an end-all, be-all writing device, and that they store all of their writing on it. It's like, no, it only has a certain amount of storage. And yeah, they are making the patches better to be more efficient to stop corrupting data, which is very good. They need to fix that shit. That's not something I need to be worrying about as a writer. I need to not be worrying like, should I use this? Because it might get deleted. Like, that should not be in my thought process at all. But they're fixing it, so it's good. They're doing something. You know, they're not just letting it sit. People have talked about it. They know, they're aware of it, and they're fixing it. And they already have, I think. But people who are writing bad reviews about this thing, they're people who don't seem to understand that the Freewrite device, even the Freewrite Smart, which is a more like kind of typewriter style one, is not an end-all be-all device. It is not designed to store 100% of your writing. It is a beginning part of your journey. It is the part, and these aren't, remember, I have custom keycaps here. It is the beginning of your draft. You're literally just typing it into a document to go out into the cloud. And then you take it from there with whatever other means necessary. Like, whether you edit on your phone, you could print stuff out. I actually need a process where I draft and then I like actually type it out on my typewriter, or I print it if it's like significant, like a large amount. I mean, I do things so iteratively that there is really no reason not to rewrite things on the typewriter if I want to have it physical. Because you should work with things in small batches. Like a scene of a novel. You type it out, and while you're typing it out, you notice things and you think things, like subconsciously. And then, you set it aside, and then you have it in a physical format. And then when you're ready, you go through the physical format and you like make notes. Like, or, I think it might be better and more efficient and just cleaner if I'm going to literally go through the full, when I'm finally ready to go through the full draft. When I'm like finished with the draft and I'm ready to start going through the revision process. This is the B version of the novel, so it's the second version of the novel. I had a first version of the novel I did during NaNoWriMo, and it's absolute, like, it was useful. It helped me understand the story and the characters and the stuff that stuck around, because I wrote it like 10 years ago. Like, literally, like 10 years ago. And it sat in my mind. And a lot of the stuff has gone away, but the most important parts, there's parts of it that are still present. But they're a little bit more evolved, but they're not changed. They're like evolved. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff that's like literally just gone. And then there's like stuff that's like changed. But I like what Stephen King says, and I'm actually going through a period of time. I'm going through like a lot of like reading Stephen King. I want to read like everything he's written. He's written like 50 novels. I want to read every single thing he's written. I'm reading the Dark Tower series right now. I'm going to be reading Carrie, which is his first novel, and The Shining, or Shining. I don't think it's called The Shining. I think it's just called Shining. Yeah, I mean, it's all going to be fun. I'm reading Bag of Bones. There's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into writing, and technology can help us, but we have to like be smart, and we have to design a workflow and be disciplined, because I'm finding that I need separation between devices. Like, I need one thing to do one thing. I need another thing, like with workflow. Even if it's on the same device, I need to have a different situation. And I don't try to, like, make things so, like, set in stone that I can only do it a certain way. What I'm talking about is, like, I feel like a desk is not really a physical desk. Like, a desk is an environment that you set up. And so when you set up your desk a certain way, it doesn't matter if you're at your house, in your office, if you're at the library, if you're like out in the middle of nowhere, like mountain climbing, like whatever you do, you can bring your desk with you. Yeah, anyway, let's get back to some more writing. Oh, let me check chat first. Okay. Yeah, chat. That's how you do it. I think we've only wrote like, yeah, I mean, that was 12 minutes. I mean, I forgot, I don't even know how much we wrote earlier. It's 1,200 words. That's like twice as much as you need a day, you know. I wasn't actually writing my novel though, so that's the thing. I'm journaling about my process. That's kind of like you know, to summarize what I was writing about. I was kind of writing, well, I was writing about, like just now, I was like kind of deconstructing like what goes into a writing session. Like, when you're writing, you need to split up your session, and it scales with however much time. But you scale it into separating it into like 2 main segments of writing, and possibly a third, with a break in between. So your first segment is just literally just hands on the keyboard, start typing. Don't even worry about what you're typing. Just start typing. Get your brain into writer mode. And then you need to step away. And it could be to just like get a cup of coffee, or to like go on a 5-minute walk, or a 10-minute walk, or 15 minutes. No more than 15 minutes. If you go too long, then you're going to start getting out of writer brain, and your warm up would have been not wasted, but it's like the reason why you take and try to take less than 5 minutes. Like, if at all possible, just get up and get a sip of water and then come back. Like, that's literally like you're just trying to like okay, like you're switching on writer mode. That's what the break is for. Because like the warm up starts it, then getting up to do something, it doesn't even matter what it is. Even if you just get up, leave the room, and then come back in, it doesn't matter, because you need your brain to make that switch. Because otherwise you just did a warm up, but you need to make that physical switch. And then you go back and you have the meat and potatoes of your writing. This is like the main portion, because now that you've stepped away from your warm up, you've activated writer brain, where you're thinking about things as your writer self. It's like a different identity. Like you're a different person when you're writing. And so then you go back and you do the meat and potatoes of whatever you're working on. And I was literally doing a meta-analysis journal of how a writing process works for me. Because with me, I need to like kind of go through things multiple times, and I need to understand what's happening, like the nuts and bolts, so that I can do it automatically. So I can like kind of, I don't have to, because I need to get it out of my system. Because I'm very analytical, I'm autistic, and so I need to like put all the shit, I need to get it all out. And then what I've noticed is that, like, I know it's like people don't like to think about it, but they think that, like, everyone knows, like, oh, it's 99% perspiration, 1% inspiration. And that actually is true. The inspiration won't happen if you're not in a workflow where it's possible to happen. And so you have to keep writing every single day. And, like, 20 minutes a day is significantly better than like a couple of hours once a month or something. And I found myself that even though I'm doing a lot of this meta-analysis and a lot of journaling, first of all, I have to understand myself if I'm going to ever understand characters or ever understand other people. Like if I'm ever tasked with writing a biography, like I have to be able to step out, so I have to be able to understand myself and then put myself in their shoes and have empathy for that person. And even fictional people, especially fictional people, I have to understand that person because they're not me. But I have to understand me first. So that's why journaling and, you know, going to therapy, like that's a huge part of my writing process. However, I've noticed that as I've been writing more and more on a regular, consistent basis, multiple times throughout the day, I'm coming back and actually writing scenes of my novel again. And it's proof. Like, you don't need any kind of magical system. You just need to show up and trust in the process, because you will automatically start noticing, like, you will start noticing that you will just start writing scenes without even thinking about it. So trust in that. You don't have to try. You do have to try. But like, if you're doing it right, eventually it'll just start happening. It scales. Because you're going to be writing more and more and more, then more of the stuff that you want to write is going to start surfacing too. Because if you only write like one scene a month, well then if you up your ante, if you like keep writing, well then maybe it's going to be 2 scenes a month. Then maybe it's going to be a scene a week. Maybe it's going to be a scene a day. Maybe it's going to be multiple scenes a day. So like, you just have to keep scaling it, and it takes time. It's iteration. I want to stress that writing is an iterative process. You're always going to be rewriting. That's really what editing and revising is. It's not really like just fixing all the errors. It's reworking it. And you should be reworking it in your head every single day. And when you sit down at the keyboard every single day, you're giving yourself that chance to rework everything and getting your brain back into the switch that it was in when it worked. And then you're in that mindset. And so every time you go back to that, it's like you're picking up where you left off. And also, just like the same with live streaming, like right now, I'm activating parts of my brain that are like streamer mode. And it's helping me. I need to not stop streaming. Like, I need to have it as part of my workflow. It might not be the same at what I'm not like a professional streamer, so I don't need to be streaming like 8 hours a day. That'd be bad. But I would like to stream a few times a week. Even if it's on my phone in this scuffed Lyrics broadcaster bullshit. I'd like to stream a couple times a week. Just show up and kind of catch up with myself. Like, kind of check in with myself. Check in with chat. Because I know people have been asking on my YouTube, like, when are you going to go live? And I'm like, I got stuff to do. And I'm, like, touching grass, too. I'm back to school. I'm taking an acting class. I think I'm making new friends, potentially. But, just one day at a time. And I'm not auditioning for any like productions. That's a little too much for me. I found that I went back to school. I am not the same person I was when I took 20 units of music classes and commitments. Okay, I burned out from that. So it didn't work in the first place. So I want to focus singularly on this one class and like put 100% into it. Show up, do the work. Because we're going to be like analyzing screen scripts, like analyzing plays, analyzing characters. I'm going to be performing like monologues. I think there might be a scene partner stuff. So either way, like right now it's very early in the semester, so I'm just taking it one step at a time. Okay, I think that's all anybody can do. And I think getting rid of these expectations in my mind is going to help me out significantly. Because I have so many expectations when I go into any kind of given activity. Even my writing, like, I have expectations for myself. I have expectations from others. And when you have such high expectations that when they fall short, because they will, because it's reality, it's only going to upset me. And then I have to go through that process, and it's really overwhelming. And I would rather approach things in a much more balanced way. And I am. And I think it's helping that, like, I'm developing a stronger daily writing habit. And I'm starting to get work done. Like, I'm getting scenes out for Evenstar, like, significantly much more often than I was before. And the fact that I'm still thinking about Evenstar and all the characters after 10 years, I got something special on me. I got something special sitting in there, waiting to come out. Okay, this might be I don't want to have super high expectations, but the fact, if something sticks around, keeps coming back, that's something you got to write. If not for other people, then for yourself. Regardless, I want to finish this novel. I don't know how it's going to perform. I can't control that necessarily. But what I can control is that I can finish the novel. I can have a manuscript. I can then query that manuscript. And maybe it'll do really well. Maybe I'll be the next Hunger Games. Yeah, maybe everyone's going to be talking about me then. What now? Yeah, you guys all shoved me under the carpet. Wait until you see me on New York Times bestseller list. Wait until you see me on the cover of Vogue. And potentially other magazines. Anyway, I only have 10 seconds left on Lyrics Broadcaster. And plus, I could start another stream, but I think keeping it limited, focused, that's what matters. Anyway, hit like and subscribe me on YouTube. Bye-bye.